Good morning, sir.
Yes, today I am outdoors. Finally, it has stopped raining. Okay, everyone ready?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
that's my country, my parents, teachers, brothers and sisters, and the world who do good to me. Amen.
Do good to me. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, children.
Amen. Good morning, sir.
Emily Elizabeth Dickinson is the poet. When you look at this poem, it's a very short poem. It's a very powerful poem. Now, this tells you about the power of words. We should always choose our words very carefully because words can heal, they can touch, they can inspire, they can also hurt. This is Emily Elizabeth Dickinson. She spent most of her life alone. As students during the lockdown, you might also be in the same situation. We can maybe identify with what she is trying to say. The first line, she is saying that I'll tell you how the sun rose. This is just another way of responding to a request. The sun rises one ribbon at a time. One ribbon at a time. This is a picture of a sunrise. Nowadays, I don't know whether you all get up early or get up late, but in case you get up early and if it's not raining, please do experience or look at the sunrise. It is a very magical and very inspiring time of the day. The next line says the steeples swam in amethyst. Now let me explain what are steeples first. Steeples are the top part of a church. Steeple is a noun and the plural means steeples. It means a church tower and spire. When we use it in a verb or in the third person present, it could be steeples. When we put the fingertips of both hands together and when we spread them and arch the hands so that it looks like a church steeple. This is also part of body language. We do it in prayer. In terms of body language, it is a sign of confidence. So what she is saying is that I am speaking very confidently to my audience. Okay, steeples, it's a word used in architecture. It is a tall tower on a building. Belfry, steeple, spire, these are all architectural terms. This is common on Christian churches and cathedrals. The steeple or the spire is the topmost part of this structure or this tower. Now, once again in body language, when you put your fingers and your hand together and put it in upward position, it signifies that you are confident. The next part says the steeple swam in amethyst. What is amethyst? Amethyst is a noun. It's a precious stone. The color is violet or purple and it's a variety of quartz.
Quartz.
When we use the word amethyst in a sentence, we could say a delicate necklace of amethysts and pearls. It could refer to a dress, a purple dress or an amethyst dress. This is the precious stone. This would be the dress. Now here the dress refers to the dress worn by the priests. Amethyst is the world's most popular purple gemstone. It has been used for over 2000 years. If you are born in February, this amethyst is your birthstone. It's also an important New Age gem. This stone, used by the kings, by the rich and the powerful, as a symbol of royalty. The name comes from the Greek amethystos, which also means that it believes that the stone protects the owner. The next line says that the news like squirrels ran. All of you know what is a squirrel? We have quite a few in the compound, so maybe you would have seen it in the school. Squirrels run very fast. Have you ever tried to catch a squirrel? Don't even try it. It may bite you. And here it means that the news that the sun has risen, and not just because every day is literally a new day, but because We get your news first thing in the morning. The first thing when you get up in the morning, you look for the news. Maybe you open your WhatsApp news, or maybe you look at Google, or you put on the TV. Well, as a student, you should make reading the news a habit, just like you brush your teeth and wash your face in the morning, because it will help you in your life, in your academic life. Anyway, most people, maybe including your parents, also look at news first thing in the morning, and news spreads very quickly. A good example would be even your mobile phones. What one person shares can quickly spread to hundreds and thousands and millions in just a matter of seconds. During this lockdown or this situation that we have, the only source of news that we have is through the mobiles or through the news. But you need to filter out. You need to very clearly understand what is real and what is fake. So please don't rely on WhatsApp news. It's not really reliable. It's not really genuine. Some of them are, but most of them are, the work of certain mischievous people. Or just simply put on your TVs and watch the news channels. Watch the English speaking ones. It will help you in your English as well. Okay, so the hills untied their bonnets. Emily Dickinson lived in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a state on the east coast of America. Now, what does she mean when she say the hills untied their bonnets? Firstly, let's look at the meaning of bonnet. A bonnet is a type of hat that covers the ears or covers the head and is tied under the chin. And it's normally worn by babies or by women. This is a bonnet. So when the hills untie their bonnets, it means that the clouds are slowly lifting. The darkness and the clouds are lifting. You could see the hills very clearly. The hills untied their bonnets. The next line says that the bobolinks began. What are bobolinks? Bobolinks is a species of American blackbird. They sing in the morning. Now the speaker attributes this to the rising of the sun. This is a picture of a bobolink. Now let me share with you the sound of the bobolink. So what she says is that the bobolinks began, or they started singing, and it's a very calming, a very sweet sound to hear in the morning. Then I said softly to myself, that must have been the sun. She declares the sun has risen, and with a nice touch of how the morning really begins. Now, then I said softly to myself, that must have been the sun. So try to experience a good sunrise if and when you can. The next part or the next 8 lines begins with the word but. She uses the word but because she herself is not sure about what happens at night or at sunset. And she says, but how he said, I know not. He refers to the sun or the day or the light. There seems a purple style. Let us look at the meaning of purple style. A purple style means the horizon or the boundary between the land and the sky. It is quite clear during sunrise and also during sunset. The next part says which little yellow boys and girls were climbing all the while. So the purple style is that horizon. Now let's look at the meaning of yellow. Yellow refers to the light. It doesn't mean that the children have got jaundice or are sick or are Asian children. It means the yellow light of the fading glow of the sun. If you look at the natural lights that come out in sunset and also in sunrise, the color is golden or golden yellow color. So this is what it means. Little yellow boys and girls were climbing all the while. Children bathed or colored in the fading glow of the sun, and they are crossing over the horizon from daytime to nighttime till when they reach the other side. A Domine in grey put gently up the evening bars and led the flock away. The other side means the night or the darkness. Now let's look at a few words. Domine means it's a noun The Scottish word means that it is a schoolmaster or a teacher. The American English for Domine is a pastor or a clergyman. I think Emily Dickinson is trying to put the meaning of both words. A Domine or a schoolmaster or a teacher and a pastor or a clergyman, they have very similar roles and very similar functions. They both teach and they both guide and lead and they inspire and they also protect. This is a picture of a domine in grey. Grey is the color and it's a very serious color and it would also the color worn by the priests. Put gently up the evening bars. Bars are the rays of sunlight. It could also be the bars of a fire or the bars of a window. All of us in the lockdown, I think we can identify. It seems you're locked up or behind bars, or you're not allowed to go out. And this is one of the ways you can identify with this poem. When we look at what is outside through the window bars, sometimes we feel lonely, sometimes we feel, frustrated. Why can't we be outside? Why are we inside all the time? But then you should note that there's always someone watching over you, and this is what she's trying to say in the poem. That even though you have reached or seem to be in a very dark place, you will still have someone watching over you and guiding you. So put gently up the evening bars and let the flock away. Emily Dickinson lived most of her life in solitude. That means she lived alone. Look at, she wrote her poems secretly and kept them hidden from her family. That means that no one knew what she wrote, what she was up to. She was confined in a room all the time. And only after she passed away that people discovered her poems and she became very famous. Now there's something for a student to be somehow inspired by this, is that even though you may be alone, or you might think that you are locked up, or you looking at only at life from the perspective of your window or the small area which is open to you, and that is also confined by a bar. So looking at life through window bars, but you can still be very creative and can also find inspiration. Now this poem, when anyone reads it, they surely find inspiration in it. What Emily Dickinson did was that she put her emotions or ideas on paper. Now as teenagers, you're not, I think you might have lost the habit of writing. Writing is a very good habit. It may not be poetry. I don't expect you to become poets. If you write your feelings and ideas, expressions down, you don't have to share it. That's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to share it, fine. Keep writing. And whatever thoughts, it may be, any thoughts. We go through so many emotions in a day. You feel angry, you feel sad, you feel afraid, you feel worried. And this lockdown or few days will give us an opportunity to express ourselves. So learn to express yourself here. All right, bye-bye.
Sir.